Signature Minal. Woo, woo. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our 2019 episode of DSI Live. This is our first DSI Facebook Live session. I'm super excited to be here with Minal Sampat. Woo! Thanks for being here, Minal.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super, super excited right now.
Oh, I am too. And really, I'm thrilled to be doing this with you. I mean, you are my social media guru coach. And we had chatted after Jumpstart about bringing even more content around some certain social media marketing topics that you had shared with our members there at the Jumpstart meeting. And we knew that there was still, I mean, really, we could take a whole day, right, to talk about marketing topics. And we thought maybe it'd be a good opportunity to give our Facebook audience a chance to ask the guru some questions. And so I'm going to see, we do have some people already tuned in here. Welcome. And please tell us down below, holla for Minal in our comments. And I just want to mention a couple times probably throughout this, remind me if I forget, Minal, that we are here to take your questions. We do have a couple of determined topics to chat about. And ultimately, we'd love to hear from you, our viewers, as to your questions around Minal, how she can help you with social media questions for you as a speaker and consultant. So Minal, before we dive in, can you just give us a little 1-minute bio snippet? I mean, like, why this topic?
Well, I mean, can I just blame it on me being a millennial? And we call it an easy way out. Well, I grew up with it. I grew up with social media, and social media, funnily enough, I've been put into that corner as a social media person, which I love. I love social media, but a bigger part of it is I'm a marketing strategist. So social media, in today's day, social media is a huge part of that marketing strategy. If you want to get in front of people, I mean, when you have 1 billion daily active users on Facebook, it doesn't make sense for you to ignore that, So for me, it's been something that I've grown up with. It's something that I've been doing for over 10 years now. So I have experimented a lot, and I've had those bad days when things were like, why does that happen? All the way to, okay, this is actually working. This is how it works. This is how it functions. This is what it is. So I've done trial and error. I have experimented with it. I live and breathe it. I have so much that I put into it every day. And it's my jam, it's my jam.
And we can see that. Honestly, I mean, I can see that you love it. I see that you're passionate about it. We've got some friends here. Shaquila's here. Melanie's here. Say, hey, guys. That was why, really for me, I felt like there was no greater option to partner with you as a faculty member for Dental Speaker Institute in dentistry, quite frankly, because you're right out there on the leading edge. It's very current, very contemporary, and but let's not waste any time. Let's just jump right in. Sanja's here. Hi,
Sanja, Melanie, hello. And they're like, okay, so I can tell we have 6 viewers, so we only have 3 people who said who they are. Who are the ones who are hiding? Tell us
come out.
Come out. Okay.
Let's start this off with a question. And if you're watching here live with us, be sure and type in your questions from Minal, and we'll get these in. We get some answers for you. But one question I know that people have asked me, though I'm certainly not an expert in this area, but I think there might be a misconception around this, and wondered, what do you think? Do you think that people need to participate in all the social media platforms, or what is your guidance there?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know what? If you try to do that, you will just go crazy. There is so much social media platforms out there that it doesn't make sense for you to do that. Now, depending on who your audience is. So I'm assuming everybody who's watching here right now are either business owners or speakers, consultants, and coaches. If your audience is dentists, right? If you're trying to attract more clients, more dental clients, and you are there spending a lot of time on Pinterest, or if you are there spending a lot of time on Twitter, that's not necessarily the way for you to go. You should focus on the platform that you have the most activity on. that your ideal audience is present on. So I'm a social media coach and I am on all platforms, but I will tell you, Vanessa, that Facebook is my go-to platform. It's Facebook, followed by Instagram, followed by LinkedIn. And then, I have Twitter and Pinterest and everything else that falls behind it. And I do have YouTube where, there is some videos and stuff on there. But my go-to is Facebook because this is where my people, my clients are online, and this is where they communicate with. In fact, I was telling one of my clients just this morning that so many of my new clients come on through Facebook. I have people Facebook message me all the time. Hey, Minal, what do you do? Or, oh, I was referred to you, or I saw your video, or I have a question on marketing. And they'll just literally message to me. So choose a platform that you think your ideal clients are on. No harm in experimenting. But divide your time accordingly. Just, use your marketing as a way for you to be in front of the people, to maximize putting all that time and effort in. And being completely authentic and raw here and being completely honest, I have my show, right? Marketing and Mocktails with Minal. That's every Thursday, and it's on Facebook. It's a Facebook Live show. And we are now converting it into a podcast because we are completely booked out for the year. But the reason for that show, so that means that I go on every Thursday night for at least 1 hour. I have to make sure my guests are coming. We have to make sure we make social media profiles and posts for them. We have to make sure there's sharing going on. We have to make sure there's interaction. Even though it's 1 hour of my lifetime, it's a lot more going on behind the scenes. So when you are putting that much effort, being present and being available to your ideal audience and your ideal clients, from a business point of view, you need to make sure you're also converting money. Yeah. You're also converting it, because at the end of the day, the only reason you have a business is because you're making money. You're not in this for charity. So use the platforms correctly. And again, this is me being completely raw and authentic with you guys and saying it how it is. There are many things you can do to waste your time on, or many things you can do to just do it. And that's totally awesome. If you love it and you just want to have fun with it, that's great. But when you're trying to run a business, come from it from a strategy point of view, and always make sure that what you're spending your time on is bringing you cash.
Yeah, really well said. And I have to agree with you. It feels to me too like there's so many dental professionals on Facebook, and I don't know if it's because it's a vehicle that allows us to have more conversation versus, some of the others where there's such short responses or not really friendly toward it. Like LinkedIn doesn't feel as like conversational or friendly. Right. And, Instagram is more photos and super short. So I've noticed that too, that it feels like our big dental community is very active on Facebook. You mentioned something in there too about how it really has to make sense for the business. And so let's get right to the heart of that for the people who are in this group, the DSI Dental Speaker Institute group. So we're all speakers. Give us your thoughts on how we can leverage social media to help us get in front of meeting planners. What do you suggest there? Is there a magic bullet? Is there a process? What would you suggest if we're wanting to be able to network or connect more with meeting planners through social media?
Well, I think there are two ways of looking at it, right? The first way is that most meeting planners, and this is, Vanessa, something that you are brilliant at. This is what you do. You put people in front of meeting planners. This is your thing. This is your jam, right? Is getting speakers in front of meeting planners. Is what I have learned with social media is there are two ways of doing this. The first way is because you're putting yourself out there, you start to network with other speakers and other consultants, and they see you and they reach out to you for a potential meeting or a potential, like I just had an ADOM chapter reach out to me via Facebook. Again, Facebook messaged me and said, hey, Minal, we saw you, blah, 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 one of your videos, and we would love for you to come speak at our chapter and all this thing. So they saw me do exactly this on Facebook, and they saw what they liked, and they approached me and they messaged me and said, hey, Minal. So there's the one way of it is, making sure that you are, because you're being judged at all times. Right now, there could be a meeting planner in DSI, looking at this right now video and seeing what is the kind of information does Minal know? How does she contribute that information? So when you're on, and it's a great way for you to network and get in front of people, and not even just meeting planners. So here's an interesting way. Recently what I have noticed is I've been getting a lot of invites to do joint workshops with people. So when you look at it from a speaker point of view, sometimes you think that speaking is only good for conferences or study clubs, or events and such. But what I have come to realize is that there is money in doing workshops, because these are people who are there to actually learn. They're paying money to actually come to a CE course. And it is like a speaking gig, except it's a workshop. So it's a long day. And I have had so many requests this year, and it's only April. This year alone, I have my own workshop that I'm doing in September for dentists. But I have had people from other parts of the industry reach out to me and say, hey, like, I have somebody who wants to do a workshop with me in St. Thomas this year. I have somebody who wants to do a workshop with me in New York this year. You and I and briefly had spoken about doing a workshop together as well. So remember that when you look at speaking, it's not just here's a conference and you're speaking. Because if you're speaking and your end goal is to get clients and make money, there are different ways to do that. And social media could be a way for you to network and show off. So that's the one part of it. The second part of it when it comes to social media is what you did. If you guys didn't go to Jumpstart, or if you were at Jumpstart, let us know that you were at Jumpstart 2019 this year. If you were there, Vanessa worked with John Stamper and they live streamed. They actually live streamed our talks and our presentations. So if we have the audience, there was like audience of hundreds in that room, but then what she did was put it up on Facebook and you got audience of thousands on Facebook. And that is such a brilliant way for you to be shown off, not just you as, contributing information, but you as a speaker, you on the stage, doing this live, engaging, interacting with it. I don't think you can get more brilliant than that. I mean, you are in front of meeting planners in person, but at the same time, you are now contributing to Facebook all over. So if you didn't, that was one of the big takeaways for me, Vanessa. And thank you so much for doing that at Jumpstart. Jumpstart was absolutely amazing for me. I mean, I ran out of business cards the next day. So it is hands down the best conference that I have been to. And, we had that workshop. So I presented the day, and then we had a workshop at 7 a.m. The next morning on how to do live videos. And I was expecting no one to show up, because I'm like, who's going to show up at 7 a.m. in a beautiful apparently everybody, like we were blocking the hallway, and I was staying after too. Like people were literally standing there just to ask me questions. They all showed up. They ate their breakfast, they got ready, and they were down there at 7 a.m. Like, that's awesome.
And ready to learn, and thank you. And I'm going to jump in on this, Minal. There were a couple things in your answer there that I'd like to piggyback off of. You talked about not knowing that we might even right now have someone who's a meeting planner in the group. And I think it's such a listening in. I think it's such a generic term, because somebody asked me the other day, well, how do you define that? And I think there are many different roles that would fall under meeting planner. You might be a scout.
Right.
You might be an executive director. You might be a director of a study club. I'm a planner for my own meeting. I would say that you might be a board member for an association. I mean, there's just so many different people who have influence in the speakers and the creation of these meetings. And what I've seen over the years is, especially when we speak in front of a larger audience, like we just had Chicago Midwinter, we just had him, and we had Yankee just before that. We had these larger meetings, and there's so many great, wonderful, large meetings in our industry. But if you get 50 people or so in your room, you probably have a meeting planner, and you just don't know who it is. Or it might be a hygienist who's married to the doctor, who's the director of the study club, or it might be someone who's coming in as a president.
Well, that's how I started speaking, Vanessa. I was invited to speak at my local dental hygiene study club that I was a member of, and they were, I was a member of the Central New Jersey Dental Hygiene Study Club, and they needed a speaker. Well, I had no idea there was the planner there, who is pretty much the New Jersey Dental Association planner, and it also has a whole different thing called Dental Studies Institute. Well, I had no idea that I was being scouted, or I had no idea who that person was. Well, the next thing I know, I'm giving 6-hour workshops and getting paid for it, and I'm speaking at all these things. So absolutely.
Yes, and that's a bigger part of this idea of being a thought leader, a key opinion leader, an influencer, right? And so I think back to the original question of how do we utilize social media to help us get those engagements or to get out in front of meeting planners? I would encourage people to not get that far off in the weeds about worrying, am I getting in front of meeting planners, as much as get yourself out there as a thought leader, because that's going to attract planners as well as potential clients, people who are going to buy books or other products that you have. It's really about establishing yourself as an influencer, as a key opinion leader. And the best way to do that, maybe you can help us know, for those who don't have a page or a presence, how do we get started? Let's choose Facebook, since we're on Facebook, and that's kind of a dental social media platform of choice. For someone who was just wanting to get started, what would you suggest would be a good first step for them besides the personal page?
So I actually, in fact, I'm just working with two brand new kind of speakers. I'm their marketing strategist, and we just started working together. Facebook is definitely a part of that, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing Facebook. You want to make sure you have a Facebook page. You are staying consistent. Consistency is key. Just the first time when you do these things, it's going to suck. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to get engagement. And you're not going to always love it. But you have to stay consistent with it so that more and more reach is found. But you have to use the platforms correctly. There are ways to leverage a platform. So for example, if you have a Facebook page, you can verify that page, and automatically, Vanessa, Facebook will push your page higher just by verifying, and it's free to do. If you're going to spend time working on Facebook, making sure that Facebook is giving you a lot more presence, then you want to utilize the kind of information that Facebook likes already. So a couple of the examples will be, when you see a status and you go to like it and you see like and love and all these like emojis, right? Well, did you know that a love ranks higher than a like?
Well, I think that makes sense.
That makes sense, but you don't think about it. So when you're putting your information out there, when you're posting something, you want to encourage people to love it, not like it. Because when you have more loves coming in, automatically the Facebook algorithm is going to push that higher. The most important thing that you want on any of your Facebook, is that whether it's post or whether it's videos or whether it's a photo, is comments. When you and I are doing this and we are like, hey, who's watching? Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us who you are. The reason is, one, we want to engage with you because we actually want to see who we are speaking with. And the second part of it is, the more comments you have going on, the more Facebook knows this is an active post, and the more Facebook is organically going to push that out. Like, there are times when you keep seeing like somebody's birthday post like a week ago, and you're like, your birthday was a week ago. Why am I still seeing this on Facebook? That's because Facebook is recognizing that post with all these comments.
And people keep commenting, right?
People keep commenting. So Facebook's like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm pushing this post out. Well, so think about leveraging the platform. Don't just have a Facebook page to have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Don't just put a post up because, oh my God, it's Monday and we need to put something up and we're going to go and take a stock for it. No, that's not the point. I'd rather have you focus on quality, 3 posts a week, 4 posts a week, than having that stress of, I need to post something every day and I need to just go ahead and find a quote. Or no, post it when you know it's going to be engaging. Post it when you know it's going to get interaction and comments, because otherwise you are just posting to post.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, and then the people lose interest.
They do.
It doesn't feel as authentic or as interesting.
Right. And the most important kind of content, so, there's text, there's photos, there's videos. On Facebook is live videos. Live videos are the most organically highest ranking content on Facebook.
So I'm going to ask you about live videos, but let me just confirm what I heard first. I believe what you're saying, is that for the speaker who's getting started on Facebook, who just wants to get a presence out there and start establishing themselves as a thought leader, what we're looking to do is create a page, not a group.
Yes and no. So that depends on the speaker's topic, and that depends on how much of it are they the expert in the field. So for example, one of the speakers, recent speakers that I'm working with, for her, a page is enough for what she's doing. Another speaker that I just spoke with today that I'm working with, we're establishing a Facebook page and a group. And the reason is that person has the qualities and the information that a lot of people are looking for. And when I search online on Facebook, there is no group for that information. So it makes sense to have the group and the branded person to become the go-to person for that information in the group. But, when you are new, people don't know you. So to expect people to come to your group, to expect people to follow you, again, you need to have realistic expectations. And this is where you start doing the live videos, start giving the free information, the spirit of abundance, right? Like you do that so that others people see it and they're attracted to what information you're putting out and saying, who are you? That's really cool. That's really nice, So who are you? And then the second part of that would be also getting recognized. So, I have a podcast. Well, I will have a podcast. I have a show which is turning into a podcast. There are so many people on Facebook. There are so many podcasts. There are so many, live shows. There is just so much press out there. So my guidance and to, parallel it with what I did, I got press right away. I hired somebody and I said, your job is to reach out to everybody who's anybody, including publications, and say, here's what Minal is, here's what she does, here are the topics that she can write on or speak on, here are the kind of things she wants to do. She would love to be a guest on your podcast, or she would love to contribute to your magazine, or she would love to do an article for you. And what that's doing is that it's establishing you as a thought leader. It's giving you a credit as a thought leader when you have published works, when you are in the press, when other people keep seeing you everywhere. So Facebook, just having the page is not enough. You need to make sure that you are leveraging it, is what I was going at as a newbie.
That's awesome. So question on that, like if you decided our listeners wanted to do something similar there are so many podcasts out there. Is there somewhere centralized that we could go? Do you go to iTunes? Where do you go to figure out all the dental podcasts or how to?
Yeah, there is definitely, you can definitely go to iTunes. You can definitely check it out. That way, I would just spend about half an hour researching and just do dental podcasts, dental live shows. I would just go onto Facebook and see who are all these videos from, what's going on here. And, many of you already probably know a lot of like popular podcasts, like some of the biggest ones are Howard Farron, right? Dentistry Uncensored, Gary Takis, with his podcast. So we have some major ones which are going out to a lot of people. And I was able to get on them pretty quickly. And you know what I did, which I encourage every single business owner to do, is to just send an email. Introduce yourself. Tell them who you are. Don't be shy. Just, hey, here's what I am. Here's what I do. Here's what I can speak on. I would love to be a guest. And let's, how can I contribute? What can I do? And I literally cold emailed Gary Takis and said, hey, this was years ago. I'm like, hi. Well, I didn't. My team did. I hired somebody in the PR field to actually do this for me. And his email said, I only kind of usually interview a lot of my friends, but these are great topics and I would love to have you on the show. And let's get you on the show. And that show got me into Howard Farron, and then Howard Farron got me into something else, and then something else, and then something else. So I made a post on my page recently, on my personal page recently, couple of days ago, where it pretty much said that, the person who didn't give up on myself 5 years ago, you're awesome, high five to you. So you as a business owner, don't give up. Obviously if the numbers are not matching, I'm not the kind of person who says, go on the hamster wheel. Nobody wants that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you are using Facebook and you're like, this is simply not working for me, then look at the people who it's working for and see what they're doing.
Yes.
See what's going on. Reach out. Okay. And don't give up on it until you are like, okay. And don't be shy. Man, just go email. Everybody is a person. Everybody goes through the same things. Like, so many of the people that I'm humble to call my friends now, I'm shocked that I'm humble to call them my friends.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Who are you guys? So it's one of those things where just go. Hey, you started a business. That's better than everybody who has not. You already got to that point. Just push through and get to the next level. Just do it. That's it. Just do it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Couple quick thoughts on that. Voices of Dentistry has an annual podcasters convention here in Phoenix. So that'd be another place if you're looking for a whole bunch of podcasts, go to Voices of Dentistry. I don't know if they're .com or what, but you can Google them, and that'd be a great starting place too to try to find a big group of podcasters. This is really fabulous information, and I feel that your advice about just looking to see, it's about looking to see the path that's already well proven, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not finding success, no matter what it is, whether it's about emailing meeting planners or creating your speaker marketing materials or anything on the content development, presentation skills, or the art or craft of being a dental speaker and or consultant, there are examples out there to follow. And I agree with you. I think that most of the people that I've run across will take the time. I think we have some colleagues that are super busy, and if you don't hear back from them, don't assume that means they don't want to talk to you as much as like some people. I mean, this is an industry where you get running. I mean, be careful what you ask for, right? Because when you start speaking more, you are on the go constantly. It gets hard to keep up with your inbox, but that's a whole nother podcast or Facebook Live discussion. A reminder to those of you who are tuned in, and hello, we've got Rhonda and Susan, and we've got more people on here. I can't scroll down.
Yeah, Melanie.
Thank you for tuning in. And if you have a question for Minal, please type it out here in the comments, and we'll ask Minal. Now, Minal, you did say something about Facebook live video.
Yes.
And is there a way that you suggest using live videos to promote cat fight? Realities. This is real. This is the
reality of life. The reality of life.
How do you suggest using Facebook Live video, again, for here we're interested in getting in front of meeting planners, getting speaking engagements?
Well, like I said, the Facebook Live videos, you can do it multiple ways. So if you have a topic that you are going to be speaking on, I'm assuming as a business owner, somebody who is aspiring to be a speaker, or if you're already a speaker, there's a topic that you speak on. So right now, you're now discussing this. I speak on marketing and I speak on social media. So right now I'm giving that information out, right? I'm giving tidbits of that information out, but it's valuable information. Yeah. So if you're going to do the Facebook Live series, first of all, I want you to create a Facebook Live calendar. Again, don't just do it to do it. Have a strategy behind it. I suggest creating a Facebook Live calendar and perhaps starting your calendar, the first video with a little bit of introduction about you, who you are, why you. Why should people listen to you on this topic? What about your information is better than other people's information? Okay, and then you follow in and say, well, here are the top 5 questions that I received. And I'm sure you have questions ready because you're working with clients you've spoken before. I know the questions that I received. This is why Vanessa is asking you those questions, because these are the questions that I receive all the time. So you go in and you start answering those top 5 questions. And because they are general questions, these are questions that the meeting planners also want to have their audience, right? The audience have these questions. So now you are answering these questions and they're like, oh, that's the person who can answer these questions for our audience. So, again, create a strategy around it, and then throw in a fun live if you want. Like one day I was visiting Portland, and Heidi Mount and I did a car karaoke, and we got like 100 plus comments because we were like doing car karaoke, like singing in the car and having a great live video. So yeah, throw in a live fun video if you want. Your personality is what makes you who you are. It's you are your superpower. Your superpower is being you. So utilize it. Utilize it.
I love that. I think it's about relaxing, and letting it just show through. So, okay, awesome. Well, One other question for you.
Yes.
How do you suggest that we get followers? Are there some simple tips? Is there easy ways to be able to gain more followers that would be the kind of followers you want? Like they could be potential leads or really great networking opportunities.
So there are a couple of things that you can do. If you have a Facebook page, for example, you can literally invite people to like your page. And you can do that via email, or you can invite them directly to like your page from your page input as well. You can send out a newsletter to people letting them know that this is what's happened, so what's going on. You can do a Facebook ad to get more followers as well. However, what I have found to be most useful, and this is something where we are going to combine not virtual, but in-person experience with a virtual experience, is when you're speaking, you want to have an opt-in. You absolutely want to have an opt-in. So if you're a speaker, do a text opt-in or do an email opt-in, offer some sort of a lead magnet. That means offer some sort of a resource that goes well with your topic that the audience really wants. Vanessa, I did one at your, for Jumpstart when I did the live videos, and I said, if you want, 10 ways to use live videos in your marketing strategy, text this word to this number, you're going to receive it. And what happens is, and I think I got over like 70 people who registered for those tips. And that's a huge number.
That is big, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big number for that audience. And I got all those people registered. So there's a difference between just having fans and followers on Facebook to actually having followers. Your warm audience, the people who have heard you, the people who want your information, that's the audience that's going to convert for you. Mm-hmm. So when you utilize your live events, when you utilize even when you're a guest on a podcast, so let's say I'm a guest on your podcast right now, right? Like I can go ahead and say, hey guys, if you want marketing tips X, Y, and Z, go ahead and opt in. Or hey, if you want to ask me questions, if you want direct access to me, go ahead and join my Facebook group. If you want to do this, go ahead and do that. Utilize your in-person interviews, your speaking engagements. Utilize every opportunity that you get to get followers. Opt-in is an easy way because you get their email addresses. Another way is if you have a Facebook page or if you have a Facebook group, you can ask people to join that as well.
So help me understand. So from the standpoint of like, if we're actually at a speaking engagement, like I've used the text to join slide that will text and they'll put their email address in and it goes into my constant contact account. But so you're suggesting like a text to join that they'll then receive a free top 10 tips or something. How do you convert that then back over to social media? Do you go track those people down on social media?
Absolutely. Well, you can do it two ways. Well, no, you can do it two ways because when they receive those tips, there should be a link there to your social media. And when you as a speaker are saying that, and I make it big and I say, by the way, if you want direct access to me, like I just said to you, if you want direct access to me, if you have questions for me, if you would like to collaborate with me, the best way for you to do it is to join my group because that's where I am active. So you are literally telling people, not only getting their email, but you're telling them that if they, instead of saying, hey, here's my phone number, you're switching that up to saying, hey, here's where you can find me online. This is where I want you to be.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you switch it up.
Brilliant. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's like it takes the way we've always done it with a little twist,
right?
Which then gets them over here. So, and you can still have, something where they can join your email list. You can still market to them. They get that content, so they see you as even more of an expert. And in that flyer or whatever you're sharing, that guides them back to social media. Love it. Or to your marketing and mocktails with Minal. Like you can really promote anything. I really love the giveaway from the stage because there's no limit on what you can send them. You can also attach like your flyer at the back for a conference that's upcoming. There's a flyer about the different workshops you offer, a flyer about your consulting. I mean, you could put it all into one PDF that you
absolutely. What I would suggest is when we have an email marketing of things going out is I would suggest that give them what you promised. So if I promised and I said, here are 10 ways for you to use Facebook Live videos, give them the 10 ways to use Facebook Live videos with an option for them to follow you or join you online or whatever, here's my next workshop, whatever your next call to action is. And then do a follow-up email. I have an automation, right? So I do a follow-up email. But emails can only go so far. I mean, when we look at our inboxes, we have so many emails. But what you want to look at it is you want to be smart about it and look at it, well, how many of these people actually opened my email? Mm-hmm. And am I already Facebook friends with them, or do they already follow me? Shoot them a message. Reach out. Go back to the original marketing that used to be, which was connection.
Be friendly.
Be friendly. Be nice. Dr. Robinson, Kathleen Robinson, she was at Jumpstart 2019, who was a scout for Hinman. When you asked her, hey, what is the one piece of advice that you have for speakers? She literally got up and she said, just be nice. Be nice. And it's so true. Just be nice. Like, go ahead and reach out and you say, hey, listen, I was great meeting at Jumpstart. I saw that you enjoyed my resource that I sent over. How can I help you? Is there anything that you are looking for? Do you have some questions about marketing? Have you scheduled a discovery call with me? Reach out.
Yeah.
And just that simple fact that you cared enough to recognize them, you cared enough to appreciate meeting them, and you care enough to provide, I provide a 30-minute discovery call. It's huge.
Yeah.
So change things up. Don't just say, oh, I'm doing email marketing. Well, that doesn't work. You need to have a marketing plan that consists of digital, online, social, internal, external, in person. It all needs to connect properly.
Agreed.
I think we have some questions coming up.
Say it again.
We have some questions coming up, but yeah.
So let's take one of the questions, and then I think we're going to need to wrap it up pretty soon here. It looks like what Facebook groups are best for marketing to dentists? Susan's asking what Facebook groups are best for marketing to dentists.
Oh, there are so many Facebook groups out there. I don't want to name specific groups because I just think that's kind of wrong, because then I'm going to be spamming them. So I'm not going to spam this group, but you can just easily go to a group and you can see how many members it has and how much activity it has. And
I think too, the tone of the conversation, don't you think?
Absolutely. Don't be salesy. There's no point for you to be salesy. There's no point for you to be pushing it. It doesn't work that way. I would rather, if it is something that most of the groups allow one day of promotion. Most of the groups say, hey, today is promo Tuesday or today's promo blah day. And they'll say, in this thread, go ahead and post about it. What I would suggest that even reach out to the admin, introduce yourself and say, hey, I joined this group. This is who I am, blah, blah. Don't be salesy. There is no point. This is what I do. This is who I am. And then see how the conversation goes, and organically try to get on their show, on their group, try to get on their highlight in the group and things like that. I don't believe in salesy ways. So if you're looking for me to say, hey Minal, can you give me 5 ways to go and sell a product in a Facebook group? No, that's not what I think is the best way to go. I'd rather go in the route of making sure they know who you are, what you sell, and start activating. If there's a marketing question in the group, I answer it. And I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, I saw you answer this question in this group and I need marketing help. Mm-hmm. So shift your mindset on that. Shift your mindset from selling to actually making sure that you are connecting. And that's going to work out better.
I agree. And can I add 2 more things to that? And what I mean by tone is like the tone of the group. Like some groups are definitely more professional and positive than others. And so just be mindful about what group you're associating with, because you kind of tend to be associated with it. And the other thing is that I do feel like I could suggest Nifty Thrifty Dentists. Glenn Vo was at Jumpstart, and they have like 20,000 dentists or something. It's a really awesome group.
Huge.
What they're really about is about finding different services and products and bringing great deals to dentists. And I would say if you're not already a member of Nifty Thrifty, hop on over there, be a member, introduce yourself to Glow. I was doing Glenn Vo shortened. Introduce yourself to Glenn. He's an awesome guy, and I'm sure he would welcome you there. And then just as Minal said, make it not promotional. But I know he does. Doesn't it seem like he does a once a week or something like that too, where he does a promotion?
Yeah. I think everybody does. Like I said, most groups have something where they're doing once a week, or they're doing. They give you a platform to talk about yourself. But The best way to let people know what you are good at is to actually answer the questions. So if a dentist comes in and says, hey, I'm doing this marketing, I don't know what to do, that's where I can go in and say, this is what I think you should do. Here are the ways you can do it. This is where you build credibility.
And are seen as an influencer, right? It's like by being active and by responding appropriately. Mm-hmm. Yeah, throughout for all kinds of posts. Well, this has been amazing, Minal, and I think we have to wrap up here pretty soon. Thank you so much for being here. Before we go, I just want to share with our audience. It was so fabulous, and several of the people on the call heard you speak at Jumpstart 2019 when we talked about Facebook Live and and other aspects of marketing and social media. I'm not going to share the topic, but I know we're pulling together a very current, contemporary, you don't want to miss presentation for Minal at Jumpstart 2020. And I also wanted to take just a few minutes to share with our group that our format is changing next year. Our little conference is growing to a bigger conference each year. We had 120 last year. We're shooting for about 250 this year. So as we continue to grow, it's really become more of a dental meetings professionals meeting. We will be educating the speakers, obviously, as well as our planners and our sponsors. And in doing so, we'll have part of the time we'll be on the main stage all together in the ballroom with listening to some presentations, but we'll also each day have a portion of our morning and a portion of our afternoon for breakouts. And at each breakout, we'll have multiple offerings. And so it's going to be a much bigger educational offering this year, which is frankly, I think hard to imagine, because each year people have walked out just going, oh my gosh, I've never been to a speaker conference where I learned so much. And that's really the focus. Dental Speaker Institute is the sponsor of this meeting, and we're really all about educating our speakers, our meeting professionals. So just wanted to share with those of you who would like to get more of Minal. That would be one way for you to be able to hear more of her at Jumpstart 2020. And don't let me forget, I'm just going to put up here our to register, jumpstart2020.com. We don't have our full agenda out yet. I'm still filling spots on the agenda. And so once we have that, we'll have the website modified. But you can register early bird at jumpstart2020.com. Just use the code early bird, all one word. And I should put that over here.
And did you have a little surprise for them?
I do. And so if we just put in all caps early bird, and that would, let me just put in here, save. I'm not very fast at this. Just save 300. So that would bring your $2,100 registration down to $1,800. But even better than that, for the next 10 registrants, because we only have 10 spots for this, you will be able to have a complimentary headshot session with who I think is the most fabulous speaker photographer in the world. Of course, I'm married to him, but if you would like to judge for yourself, Jeff Emerson's website is e3rawphoto.com, and I'm going to show you that here at the bottom of your screen. Go to Jeff's website, e3rawphoto.com. Go to the professionals page. You'll see about 20 or 25 different professionals, speakers, all of them speakers, headshots. So Jeff will be doing headshots at Jumpstart.
Can I show them? Can I show them this?
Yeah.
Like, these are absolutely incredible. Like, I was trying to talk Vanessa into giving me a session because I'm like, oh my God, is this just for the attendees? Can faculty and speakers get this? Because this is so awesome. I mean, look at this. Look at these photos.
Thank you. He really does a fabulous job. And so Jeff has agreed to, during the conference, it'd be a 30-minute headshot session. But for those of you who are looking to increase your the appeal, the look of your marketing materials, Marketing for speakers is what we do. We know the different tips and tricks you need in order to be able to make your speaker packet look really awesome, to be able to get really cool images for your website, to be able to do some really contemporary things. So this is, I think, a really fabulous offer. And there's only 10 spots. So for the next 10 people, and honestly, you're hearing about it first here. I haven't even rolled this out yet. So early bird saves you $300. For the next 10 people, you can also have a complimentary session with Jeff at the conference. So that's e3rawphoto.com. Yeah. And if you have any questions about Jumpstart, I'm at info@dentalspeaker.com. We've been rolling throughout our broadcast here, minalsampat.com and hello@minalsampat.com to be able to reach out to Minal. Minal, thank you so much. Thank you for being here and for sharing. We've had multiple, I've seen here people suggesting that they really appreciate this topic, that they appreciate the quality of your answers. And I mean, you definitely are our social media guru. You know, it's like we all look to you because you've proven that you can help us move our businesses forward. So thank you for what you do for us. I mean, in all seriousness, thank you so much for what you do. And thank you for being here and sharing with us tonight. Again, thought leader, giving it away. That's the way to do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody who is watching, thank you for the comments. Thank you. And I will try to make sure I reply to all the comments. And like Vanessa said, minalsampat.com. Hey, and if anything, just Facebook friend me, Minal Sampat. I'm the girl in the white dress with the hair on one side. I look like this. So
you look like that?
I look like this. I like to be somebody who has like, you can tell that it's the same person. It's not like a photo there. You're like, what? No. So yeah, so please Facebook friend me. That's the best way, to be in touch with me.
Sounds awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.